Hello, and welcome back to day two of the Retirement Reset Challenge. So, let's talk about how to redefine retirement and build the future you really want. I'm your host, April Brown. So, the retirement journey today is more complex and less predictable than it was for those before us. So, hello, I'm April with Zelkin Financial Services LLC, and I want to talk to you about your retirement. Retirement is no longer a full stop, it's a transition. Many people are no longer leaving work permanently, they're scaling back, shifting roles, or starting encore careers. The traditional retirement model, work, stop, leisure, is being replaced by a more flexible, multi phase approach. So, a little bit about myself. I'm a retired captain from the Durham Police Department, and crafting my own retirement plan was something I approached thoughtfully. For me, retirement was about more than finances. It was about traveling the world, which I love to do, exploring new cultures, and fully embracing all the experience life has to offer. Defining what retirement would truly look like was essential to making it meaningful and fulfilling. The importance of planning. Defining your retirement plan requires both a realistic expectation and intentional strategy. If you begin saving later in life, for example, age 50, your savings window is shorter, giving you less time for compound growth. The importance of planning for retirement starts now. It's absolutely crucial. Remember, you're ultimately responsible for your retirement. So ideally, retirement planning should have started in your 20s, given that you have more time to save and invest and make adjustments along the way. Even if you start later, it's never too late. Just remember to take control, make smart decisions, and create a plan that ensures you reach the retirement lifestyle you want. So, managing retirement and addressing the challenges may bring um, challenges life may bring during this stage. So take your pen out and paper. I hope you're prepared to take notes. So, retirement realities. It's essential to plan ahead to ensure that your nest egg lasts throughout your retirement. So, spending habits tend to evolve over time. So, understanding the type of retiree you want to be can help guide your planning. So, what are the types of retirees? A couple of them. So we'll talk about them. First one is home hobbies. Basically, you're focusing on home projects and hobbies early in retirement, meaning that you're going to spend more in the first couple of years. Then you've got the entertainers. They spend heavily on food and drinks to host family and friends, with an overall spending declining faster than other groups. Then you got the globetrotters. That's who I am. The folks who prioritize travel, with expenses often increasing even more once retirement begins because they want to travel. So early birds retire they retire early and enjoy higher spending on travel and entertainment during the early years of their retirement. Then you've got the healthcare spenders. They allocate a significant portion of their income to insurance, prescriptions, and medical treatments. Then you have the average retirees. They follow the balanced spending pattern, reflecting the typical retirement spending style. Basically, that means you spend moderate in the early years and late, with a dip in the middle years. So, understanding your spending style now can help you plan strategically, making informed financial decisions and creating a retirement lifestyle you truly want. Define your retirement plans. So, defining your retirement plans requires both a realistic expectation and intentional strategy. Like I said, if you begin saving late, like in your 50s, well, your window is shorter because, time is not necessarily on your side. So, time is one of the most powerful tools for wealth building. When you're young, you trade youth, energy, and time to grow your money. As you get older, energy and time become limited, but saving is still possible. It just requires more focused approach. quiz time. This is where you get to be active and participatory in this process. So there are four questions, and basically the questions focus on your knowledge around finances and retirement. So let's go. So, number one, how much of your pre retirement income do experts generally recommend you need to maintain your lifestyle in retirement? Number two, which of the following is considered a balanced approach in retirement spending, reflecting that retirement spending smile? Number three, what is the main tax advantage of contributing to a traditional IRA or a 401k? And number four, at what age do required minimum distributions, RMDs, better known as, for traditional IRAs and 401ks begin? So, the answer to your question is for number one, how much of your pre retirement income do experts generally recommend you need to maintain in your lifestyle in retirement? The answer is C, is 80%. Why? Because basically governments and companies have shifted retirement responsibilities to you. Jason, stop. So we are still talking about, you're responsible for your retirement. So think about this. The old paradigm used to be the three-legged stool. That's basically pension was a large portion of your retirement, Social Security, and savings. Well, that's flipped on its head. Now, savings is a large portion of your retirement. Social Security is still there, but pensions is very small. And but for most people, pension is not even an option. So there you go. All right. So number two, which of the following is considered a balanced approach to retirement spending, reflecting retirement spending smile? So that is going to be answer number C. Basically, spending moderately early, you're dipping in the middle, and then you have a slight increase later, just because of healthcare and lifestyle changes in the later years. Number three, what's the main tax advantage of contributing to that traditional IRA or qualified plan, which better known, 401k, 403b, those things? Basically, the answer is going to be B. Why? Because contributions to those traditional retirement accounts lower your taxable income now. However, when you start taking that money out at a later date and time, you're going to pay taxes on it. So think of it like this. The IRS is like, hey, we're going to give you time to, grow that account, that retirement account, tax deferred, so we can get a bigger share of the pie later. All right. And number four, what age do required minimum distributions, better known as RMDs, start? The answer is C. Now, caveat to that. If you're born before 1960, actually the age is 73. If you're born after 1960, that's the age is then 75. All righty. So how many of you got all of them right? Some of them right, or none of them right? Food for thought. All right. So how do we define um, retirement for yourself? So how do you define retirement for yourself? Yeah. So, basically this is where it all begins, because retirement isn't a one size fits all. It's personal, it's flexible, and should be built around what matters most to you. So these key questions will lead us right into the three secrets I want to share with you today. Okay? So the first one, how do you create your financial roadmap in retirement? Number two, the next move is simpler than you think. Small steps today can have a massive impact on tomorrow. And number three, what's the one thing you absolutely need to know? Or planning gets much harder. Understanding this will make every other decision easier and more effective. So by the end of our conversation, you'll have clarity and confidence to start shaping the retirement you have been dreaming about on your terms. All right. Secret one, how do you create your retirement roadmap to retirement? Boom, you project your retirement income. So what do I mean by that? So to get a realistic picture of what your retirement could look like, you got to start by calculating how much you already have saved across your qualified plans, 401ks, 403bs, 457s, Those are qualified plans. Your personal savings and brokerage accounts. So from there, estimate what these assets can provide as a monthly or annual income. Total your guaranteed income sources, including pensions, social security benefits, annuity income, or any other predictable monthly payments. Add up your savings and investments. This includes um, all the qualified plans, Roth IRAs, brokerage accounts, and the cash savings, and then estimate future income from these accounts. So use a reasonable, moderate growth rate to project how your balances may grow over time and what sustainable withdrawals could look like in retirement. So let me just say this. I'm sure some of you have heard about the 4% rule. Basically, they say you can take out 4% of your money out of your um, plans, your qualified plans, or your uh, and that should sustain you. Not your qualified plans, but yeah, well, yeah, qualified plans, yeah, your brokerage accounts. That should sustain you for the next 30 years, and then you run out of money, basically, because it's built on a 30-year window. Anyway, what I'm saying is that's the 4% rule in terms of what people talk about, but in reality, it's like more like 2.5. I'm just saying. But anyway, include any additional income streams. Think about rental properties, consulting work, part time jobs, or employment or business income you expect to continue. So, account for taxes. Please, for the love of God, think about taxes. Remember that pre tax accounts like traditional IRAs and 401ks will be taxed when you withdraw. Built in estimate taxes, so you're working with real spendable numbers. So calculate your projected retirement income, combine all sources to get a clear picture of what you can expect annually and monthly. Secret number 2. The next move is simpler than you think. What is that? Estimate your retirement spending. A common rule of thumb is to plan on spending 70 to 80% of your pre retirement income, but you'll want to take a deeper dive to create a realistic estimate. So, steps to estimating spending. You want to record average monthly expenses: household, food, transportation, insurance, healthcare. Factor in inflation. Make it at least a 3% annually. Consider lifestyle changes, whether you're downsizing or relocating. Add healthcare costs, premiums, deductibles, out of pocket costs. You want to evaluate your debt, mortgage, loans. Will they be paid off? Plan for discretionary expenses such as travel, hobbies, weddings, grandchildren, and account for unexpected costs. So, emergency fund, whether that takes care of a car replacement, family support, or you got to replace your roof, those type of things. So, that's why understanding what you're going to spend in retirement is most important. All right, so facts people don't really think about. There are 3 things I want to talk about. One is longevity risk. So essentially, it boils down to this: are you going to outlive your money, or is your money going to outlive you? Period. Now, there are subtexts to that, but the bottom line is, what do you want to happen? Number 2, sequence of return risk. Huh. Basically, this is if the market drops early in your retirement. So, meaning if you had a 2008 and you were retiring, mm, so you've lost 50% of your money and you have the audacity to be taking out money at the same time. Let's say you withdraw 4% of that money, you're going to run out of money, period. So, that's what sequence of return risk talks about. If the market is not doing well and you're trying to retire and take money out, well, that's not going to fare well for you. On the flip side, if you retire and the market's doing really well and you have like a 2008 towards the end of your um or somewhere within your retirement, like 10 years, 8 years afterwards, you'll probably be okay. So, sequence of return risk. So, if you got multiple years where you're losing money, it's not going to fare well. All right. Inflation, that's the third one. Prices go up over time. So money that you save today is not going to spend the same 10 years from now. So you need to plan for inflation. So you got to bake that into your plan. And these are the three things that most people don't necessarily think about. Secret number three: if you don't know this one thing, then planning becomes harder. And what is this? Your DATI. What does that mean? It's called, what I call it, your desired after tax income. You've got to calculate it. And what I mean by that is if your desired after tax income is you want a net $60,000 and your Social Security provides you $24,000, then your savings and investment must cover that $36,000 difference. Do you have a plan to bridge that gap? Why it matters? It matters because if you're looking at gross income, that's before taxes, that can look bigger than what you actually have to spend. So, this is why you need to look for net. So, planning around after tax income ensures your lifestyle is supported without surprises. And different income sources, so Social Security, pensions, 401ks or qualified plans, Roths, brokerages, brokerage accounts. Know this, they're all taxed differently, so your withdrawal strategy matters. And that's a conversation for a different day, but boil down to this. There are three buckets quickly: taxable, tax deferred, and tax free. You want money in all three, and depending on what you need to draw down on first, you gotta have a strategy for that. And so, starting with your desired lifestyle, housing, travel, healthcare, hobbies, family support, you want to estimate the annual after-tax income needed to cover these things. So how do you get to that DATI? Work backwards. Calculate how much pre-tax income and savings you need to generate, i.e., we're going back to secret number one. Determine what your retirement income is, and then you're going to factor in inflation. What feels comfortable today may not be enough 10 to 20 years from now. So, talked about earlier, which is, know what you're spending and what your monthly expenses are going to be so you can have that when you're thinking about your desired after tax income. All right. So, continuing with the balance your retirement. It's called balancing your retirement budget, actually. So, when you're thinking about that kind of retirement budget, you want to adjust through retirement stages, meaning that as you move through retirement, your financial needs will naturally shift. Each decade brings a new priority, lifestyle changes, and health considerations. That's why it's important to revisit and rebalance your retirement budget regularly, not just once. Think of retirement in stages. You got early, middle, and later years. Your spending pattern won't look the same across the three stages. Your budget should reflect that. So, by adjusting along the way, you can stay financially secure while enjoying the lifestyle you plan for. So, adjusting through the retirement stages. So, pre retirement, 50 through 52. I'm sorry, 50 through 62. Basically, here you want to ramp up savings, any make up any make up the catch up contributions. You want to reduce or eliminate debt, build a detailed retirement budget. Early retirement, 62 to 70, transitioning to a fixed income, so now you've got an income that's fixed. You've got to consider your healthcare costs before Medicare, adjust your budget as lifestyle changes. Middle retirement, 70 through 80. Now, this is where you start to collect Social Security. Some will have already been collecting Social Security. But also remember, this is where RMDs come in, required minimum distributions. Your expenses may decrease due to less travel, etc. Often, this is a period of greater financial stability because you're not just not doing as much. Late retirement, that's 80s plus. So with this, you got rising medical and long-term care costs. Medicare covers most, but Co-pays and gaps can be costly. Potential need for assisted living, nursing care, or home aids. Focus on conserving assets to protect your lifestyle. So the bottom line is you really do need to prepare across all the stages of retirement. Bottom line, defining your retirement plan is about more than saving money. It's about creating a sustainable strategy that balances income, spending, and lifestyle goals through every stage of retirement. So we've reached the end of redefining retirement. I hope I've given you plenty to think about. Retirement today is so much more than it used to be. It's a new beginning, a chance to create the lifestyle you've always envisioned. So before wrapping up, I invite you to join my Facebook group, Your Financial Coach in Your Pocket. This is where I share practical tips, answer questions, and post challenges to help you stay engaged and confident with your finances. If you're not already part of the group, come check it out. It's a great place to keep this conversation going and take the next steps together. So I'll see you next Friday, the last day. Look forward to talking to you in reference to the Retirement Reset Challenge. Have a good evening or good afternoon. I mean,